to my wife is this much talking and trying to hold my language. Nothing bad. It's just my God. Sometimes I let it slip out. I'm like, what? Oh well. For the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody had a chance to look over the agenda. Any changes that need to be added?
Under miscellaneous business, can we add discussion of a Weston app? For phone?
You want to add that to the agenda?
Yes.
Do a roll call. Mr. Warner?
Here.
Mrs. Rupp?
Yep.
Yep.
I go look right there. Ms. Kukowski?
Yes.
We got everybody. All right. Everybody had a chance to look over the minutes?
Yep.
Last meeting?
No.
Make sure you get you a copy. Is a motion.
So moved. Second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thanks.
All right. Well, we're gonna go with
Let's swear you in.
appointments. Okay, you want to do the,
Yeah, Jeremy submitted his resignation Friday evening, effective February 1. Rick is president of council, so he will take over as, mayor until a new one is elected, which will have to be done, in the November election. And then they would take office typically and serve the rest of Jeremy's term, what was Jeremy's term, which is in December 31st, 2027.
okay,
And they would take office in November then?
no.
No, I don't think so.
January,
It would
okay.
be January.
I was gonna say they have to do all the
Yeah.
certifying the election. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Stand and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, state your name,
I, Rick Easterwood,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution and the laws of the state of Ohio,
the Constitution and the laws of the state of Ohio,
and the village of Weston,
and the village of Weston.
and that I will faithfully and impartially perform and discharge the duties
I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of
of mayor,
mayor
according to the law and to the best of my ability.
according to the law and to the best of my ability. Fun. We'll go.
What's up?
Yeah, we'll start with you.
Exciting? Nothing?
Just me getting sworn in, so,
Congratulations. This is the new year.
for the rest of the year, let's put that, way. Yeah.
Any issues you guys been having?
Oh, anybody got issues? No?
You guys need this. I don't know if they email it to you. Some they email.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we get emails, but we file the hard copy anyway, so.
Thank you.
All right. Well,
Thank-
all right, yeah, I'm heading to a call anyway, so.
All right. Okay, now with this meeting, with me jumping out of the president tempora, is now we have to nominate a new president of council. So, got any nominations?
Someone to, motion to, open nominations.
Okay, we'll make a motion to open nominations.
So moved.
All right. Miles.
Second.
Mr. Warner, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, opposed? Okay, now we're gonna the motion to nominate.
I will nominate Jessica Sousa.
Thank you.
Motion for Jessica Sousa. Do we have any other nominations? I guess we're gonna close the nominations. Just need a motion to close the nominations.
So moved.
Second.
Speak up a little louder, hon. I can't hear you back here.
Well, we're a little farther away from each other than we used to be. All right, close the nominations. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? I guess we just need at
Roll
least
call vote.
roll call vote for the nominee of president of council. Mr. Warner. Ms. Sousa. Ms. Rupp.
Ms. Sousa.
Mr. Myers.
Same.
Brittany. Okay. Well, I think we got a new president of council.
Come on off.
Well, hopefully it all works out. We'll be fine. All right. Okay, moving on. The vacant, council seat, my former seat. This, council seat would be to fulfill the rest of this calendar year. My term was actually up at the end of the year anyways. So then I think we have
You have 30
30
days
days.
to fill. If council can't fill it in 30 days, then the mayor fills.
And that'll
Find something.
go official on the books tomorrow via the
Yep, we'll
advertising.
put advertising out. Do we have, I want to take part of my notes out. Yeah.
You have up until the first council meeting next.
Yep.
Which should be March 3rd.
Yeah, March 3rd. Do we want a specific deadline for people to submit their interest? I thought we could do something different this year, and I thought maybe we could recommend using a form rather than just someone stating that they're interested. Just a short questionnaire that kind of asks, about their residency, reasons for interest, relevant skills, and if they had any prior public service. I don't know if you guys saw the sample draft I had in the meeting folder, if we'd like to implement that. I was thinking the Friday before that March 3rd council meeting, if you want that as a deadline.
I think you have the deadline sooner than that.
I was thinking,
For people to submit, that way you have the weekend to review everybody, and then that Monday council meeting is when you'd put
Yeah,
them in.
That's pushing it.
that's really
That's the
pushing.
30-day. I think when we did the last council spot, we did 2 weeks before the 30. So
Before the next council meeting?
it would be,
Yeah.
Have it
was.
available the next.
yeah, the
time.
17th would be,
Will be the 18th this year.
oh, yes.
Get that out of the way.
I know, and I'll be the one on Monday. That's
Yeah,
like,
you'll be there Monday reviewing. I don't have a problem with, I think that gives a good,
I think we try for it for the 18th and see what happens.
ultimately it's up to you guys. So
Give us a little time. If
now the question is, do you want to use that
Do you want to use the
questionnaire?
form? Yeah.
I do like the questionnaire. I think that we could do a test run this time and see if people use it and still have it so then they can either submit this or just a statement. Like, choose to just submit a statement, they can still do that, but like make this available. So we're doing more instead of less.
I feel like it's encouraging more information.
Hmm.
I was a little, what would you like to, but I don't want to write you a book type situation. So that kind of breaks it down.
So I guess we'll probably have to have a motion to use that sample.
The motion to only accept this as the sample, like they have to submit it to use it, or
No, I would have to say, just make a motion to utilize this as well as whatever else somebody
kind
wants
of
to.
like what you're saying, like if they submit saying I'm interested, then we send
This is what, this is new to what our process is. Our process was just to either one come in, hand a piece of paper with all your stuff on it. So,
I know there was discussion at one point and I can't remember what the outcome was as far as like background check or whatever. I don't know that that was ever resolved. I'm not saying that it was. I can't remember as far as.
No, it's just, I know for council members, it's not required.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't think
So like when Erica came in, we didn't,
I know, that's
Yeah.
what I was asking.
I think I signed a piece of paper that said
that said
it
we,
could potentially occur.
yeah.
And that's, I guess that's why I asked.
Because yeah, it doesn't, even if something came back, it doesn't matter because they were elected. So it just,
Yeah, but
May-
they're appointed
Yeah.
this time around. That's why I asked the question.
yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and make a motion to, utilize this sample, questionnaire for the vacant council seat position.
A motion.
Second.
First and a second, all in favor, say aye. All opposed? And so we're going to be on agreement that this is going to be, due by the next council meeting. All right, moving along. Okay, old business, we got the grant writer contract extension. We sending that to, or did we send that to administrative process?
They haven't met yet.
Okay.
Christie did say with the contract coming up in February, based on some of these grants that are taking a little more time to put stuff together, whether it's having a committee or council finalize some of the extra information she needs. The likelihood of having another one submitted before the end of the month is probably pretty slim. But if we want to wait till administrative process to approve her contract or do it today, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I don't know what to say to that. I'm gonna say, I think everybody's kind of happy with their service. I'm almost leaning to, I would like to take it back to administrative process, but
I think it has to go back to administrative.
that process.
Going to meet with us.
If we still want her to, I wasn't sure if what she provided as feedback, because I figured what she provided was probably some of the questions we were going to ask her anyway.
Kind of wondering if she had hours left over though.
Oh, yeah.
She does.
Oh, yeah. She's got about $6,000 left of work, so
And when's our
'Cause we
contract
haven't-
actually?
the end of the month. Yeah.
What we have,
And if we renew that amount, that 10,000 we set aside, we'll just reactivate and the other one will close
when is the next administrative process meeting?
Monday.
Yeah, I think we should send it back to that committee. We should have it.
Yeah. You'll just make a decision on it at the next council meeting.
We have, from Public Works, we have some questions for her as well about some of the grants. So if we
And she
could,
could also meet with us during Public Works if we need to do that.
okay, I was just gonna say, as long as we meet with her, I mean, we're,
Do you want her at the administrative process meeting? I think you're the chair, right?
yes.
Because I can have her come, because I know I know community development has a bunch of grants that they were reviewing and stuff, and she was gonna try and come to that one, but maybe if we can answer that one, because I'll be at that meeting, I'll be able to set all the meeting stuff up anyway,
Yeah,
so.
let's meet with her, the administrative process. It starts the month off, right?
Any more discussion on that?
And I have some updates in my notes on grant stuff too, so, or in my report.
Okay. Next old business is final reading of ordinance 2025-1, restricting vehicles in parks. The ordinance states an ordinance restricting the operation of vehicles in the village, but it's everything descriptions is for parks and so, any more discussion on that? I think we just need a motion to
Move for passing.
Second.
We got a motion on the floor to move for passage. Is there a second?
Yep.
Everybody, the roll call, right, on this one?
Nope.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, reports. was gonna say, Mayor, I don't have nothing right now.
I think the last 15 minutes.
Well, I do have a little bit. I like I said, I appreciate you guys taking the making me, confidence of making me be the president of council, which actually ultimately be the mayor. I'm gonna do my best to make sure everything runs smooth. If anybody has any questions or concerns, just reach out. I would like to say I'm easy to work with, but some people don't. I don't know. All right. We're gonna go back to physical.
All right.
You can have a lot.
It's like the last one. I'm gonna take the next hour and I'm putting. We already kind of did this. So I know last meeting we had a question about grants, so I kind of want to take this meeting again to kind of go over everything. I know I did like a summary a couple meetings ago, so I'm just gonna go and read through grants we've submitted. Was Firehouse Subs, Public Safety Foundation grant that was submitted on January 9th, requesting $41,211 to purchase a Life Pack 35 for enhanced emergency medical services. CSX grant application was submitted December 16th, 2024 for $16,900 to fund the construction of a sidewalk over Walnut Street Railroad tracks. Unfortunately, this grant was not awarded as it typically supports charitable foundations. State Farm grant submitted a letter of interest on December 3rd, 2024 for $9,350 to install 3 permanent solar powered street signs, awaiting an invitation to submit a full application. ODOT Special Sidewalk Grant. The project will install approximately 4,000 feet of 5-foot wide concrete sidewalks and ramps on Taylor, Milton, and Cherry Streets, with only ramps added on Main and Oak Street. Improvements include ADA compliant ramps, high visibility crosswalks, drive aprons, and pavement markings. Will be announced in mid-February, and we will receive correspondence from ODOT. If selected, it will be essential to hire someone to resolve the right-of-way issue as it is critical to the project. America 250 grant was submitted on January 29th. This grant provides $5,000 for the America 250 celebration. The cemetery is requesting funding for 10 heritage trees, signage, and event supplies. It's essential to note that the grant requires a storytelling component and cannot solely be used for tree planting. The Heritage/Memorial Tree Garden project totals $6,656 based on a quote from North Branch. When Christy submitted this one, she bumped down the amount compared to the grant so that it would fit in the grant. So if they still want to do that full amount, they'd have to pay that extra if they were to get that grant.
Extra is.
The grant is only 5,000. Yeah, so it's not too much extra.
Yeah, and they had plans to use what's in the tree memorial and then
Mhm.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Grants and development. USDA search grant, that one's nearing completion for submission, waiting on more information on what to put into the budget section. This grant seeks up to $30,000 for the project that council voted to do the payroll for an intern and or to conduct stormwater analysis and purchase a GIS unit. USDA Rural Business Development Grant is preparing for submission to secure funding for paving and marking a public parking lot, currently a stone lot, and adding a natural sound barrier near the railroad tracks. Let me go. Christy just sent me an update with that one because she did a little more research on it. That one's due the 28th of this month. She said she's got bandwidth to work on this application this month, but would need clear guidance after tonight's meeting to move forward on this one. To use this funding for paving and marking the public lot with a natural sound barrier, we must be able to demonstrate how that will improve the economic stability of the community. Have existing businesses said the lot needs to be enhanced to improve their business? Will existing businesses be able to expand or have increased revenue directly related to the project, or will new business be created? If neither of those seems provable, I would suggest we rethink requesting funds to establish a revolving loan fund for new entrepreneurs or existing business owners to enhance their operations, or hire a consultant to assist new entrepreneurs or business owners. The Humanities Spark Grant, mural for Otsego Serve Day. Christy can attend the next Community Development Committee meeting to review the grant requirements. ODNR Step Outside Grant, that one's sent to Parks and Rec for review. T-Mobile Grant, that one, I think I guess grants and development are all need to go to committee and be discussed. So I'm kind of going over what kind of was assigned or whatnot to that grant. T-Mobile bathroom at Alumni Park, or somewhere in Alumni Park, I think is where we last left off. Safety intervention grant applications are currently closed and it is unknown when they will reopen. USDA Community Facilities Direct Loan and Grant Program, Village Hall. Christy had a comment on that one. She did a little research. That's accepted on a rolling basis. This could be used to purchase and rehab a building as a new village hall and community gathering space. The steps are to identify a building that would be a good fit and then reach out to the USDA office to get guidance on the approach. Let's see. Where am I?
Have to be this building.
Brightening Ohio Communities Grant, baseball lighting upgrades. I think that was last sent to Public Works, if I remember right. TAP, which is a Transportation Alternatives Program. This program shouldn't be confused with the ODOT Special Sidewalk Grant. The application deadline for TAP was in October and it wasn't submitted because I think at the time there wasn't a project when Christy brought it up. And I know Bob mentioned it at meetings he attended, and from the discussions, it seemed the Dollar General path was a potential project. But he thought that it had been tabled. According to the program website, there's no set date for when the application will reopen. The current round of awards is expected in April, so applications may open afterward. So we should stay alert for this or other grant opportunities to ensure we have a scope and estimate prepared. CDBG, Christy wants us to keep the CDBG grant in mind as the funding, next round of funding is in 2026. She strongly recommends compiling a list of potential projects to submit to the county for review as part of what they call a community needs survey. I think she put a summary list together of eligible projects. I think I sent that, or she sent that to Craig.
I'll have to look.
And then she just wants some more feedback on that so we can start putting things together for when that time comes around. Tentatively awarded is the OPWC grant. The last update, we are on the threshold for receiving state support. The District 5 liaison expressed strong confidence that the village will secure funding. If funded, it would provide $242,086 for the village. This does require a match. This would be for resurfacing Taylor Street from 235 to Main Street from railroad tracks to Cherry Street, and Center from Main to Oak. The total project is $485,390. Final decision is expected by July. Right now, the project is short $82,317. So they're still waiting on other projects to be closed out, and then that money kind of gets put towards ours until that grant amount is met.
Plus, that's not gonna happen until.
Yeah, this would be, so engineering, if we were awarded, I think based on the timeline in the application, engineering would be in the fall and the project wouldn't be till 2026.
Probably late 2020.
And this one was one that for our match, we were looking at the SIB loan. So once we get approved, we would apply the scope and all that stuff through that SIB loan. Awarded, Wood County Park District grant awarded $11,340 for mulch. I have a ordinance in new business for appropriating for that. ODNR Nature Works, we have officially been awarded $23,338 for the basketball court project. The total estimated project cost is $31,118 with a match of $7,780 as long as prices don't go up. I'm pretty sure the Sportscape contractor was that one. I don't think was going anywhere. I think they were going to honor that price, but I don't know about the asphalt. That one's through Rudder and Dudley. So
When does ODNR send that money?
after the project's done. So what we
They have to appropriate funds.
yeah, so I think I got it part of this. Yeah. So there's a contract that we have to send back to ODNR with the attorney signature. ODNR grants are reimbursable grants requiring a special fund. So the grant amount will be advanced from general fund to an ODNR fund that I will set up based on legislation, which will be at the next meeting once we sign the contract and all that good stuff. And then they reimburse upon completion. The legislation, oh yeah, I just said that will be put after the contract. The village match is already appropriated in capital outlay as part of the resolution and application requirements when the grant was submitted. So yeah, we will advance to that ODNR fund, and when ODNR, that's what the contract is saying, that they will be paying us once that's done. And then when we get that, we advance that back to the general fund. So it's borrowing technically.
But the appropriation has to be made for the full
Yep.
amount.
Yeah, we already have our match appropriated. It's just that grant part that is not. We were at that time when we were doing appropriations, we were conditionally awarded, so we didn't touch that yet. And then for grant year 2026, they have a deadline of June 2nd. And I figured the likelihood of us getting awarded is slim unless the basketball project is complete before the next grant deadline. If we were interested in trying to apply for something else next year. So yeah, that was all for grant stuff. Now the rest of my report. The annual financial report for 2024 is complete and available in the office. And then, yeah, on the agenda is the Whitcomb Park District grant. And UAN, which is our accounting software and payroll software, is providing new laptops and printers that are expected to come next week. And I have included a resolution on the agenda to approve the acceptance of the donated old equipment, because we get to keep it and they have no use for it after we have it.
Have an idea where it's going or what
Nope.
it would be used for?
Nope. Well, actually the laptop, I figured after Rick, unless he wants the laptop and have the iPad for someone else, but that would probably be assigned to whoever is mayor so that they have a computer to use that's village issued. The other thing is an agenda item, and that is, I was going to do a Rita update. In December, approximately 367 non-filer letters were sent, and on January 23rd, 313 administrative subpoenas were issued. The non-filing income tax notice from Rita informs individuals that municipal tax filing is missing for the specified tax years. This doesn't mean that they were unpaid, but rather that the required tax returns are missing. For people that do receive that, it's important to respond by the due date to avoid a subpoena or tax determination based on IRS data. They explain in the letter what the people need to do, what years they need to submit. And then, let's see here, I'm trying to not read the whole thing and condense it a little bit. Returning the completed notice, is essential to address. It takes care of it when you submit. And if you don't know how to fill out like the tax forms that they need, you are able to send your like IRS, your federal form to them and they will do it for you. Rita, they don't provide a detailed breakdown, due to the way they distribute the money or our revenue. But can confirm that delinquent taxes are being collected as part of the overall payment process. Rita uses various methods, including the notices, subpoenas, audits, to identify and follow up with non-payers and non-filers, taking legal action if necessary. While specific details are confidential, Rita works closely with the state and federal agencies to ensure taxes are collected fairly and efficiently and hold those who owe accountable. And I wanted to touch a little bit on landlord reporting. In addition to steps being taken by Rita, it's important to note that landlords are required to report their tenants annually, as well as notify us of move-ins and move-outs. A few years ago, I was successful in getting quite a few of them to respond or comply, but it's kind of dropped back down to zero. Some landlords, I had a problem, they argued, saying, oh, I don't do this where I'm at, but you know, what do you do? I think we should look into a more structured system, but at the same time, even though the landlord reporting is part of the income tax ordinance, Rita still continues to handle non-payers and non-filers regardless of whether they report their tenants or not. And then I know in the past, it was brought up questioning local taxes on pay stubs. So I kind of wanted to give like a little education lesson on that. Local tax is withheld based on where you work, not where you live. If the work location is outside of the individual's residence city, the employer is not required to withhold the residence tax, which is why the quarterly or estimated payments are necessary. If you don't see local tax withheld, it's important to remember you shouldn't be reviewing it. As a business owner or anyone else cashing an individual's check, you should only verify the check's legitimacy, not assess or review the tax withholdings. Doing so could lead to potential reporting as well as civil or criminal consequences, including penalties and fines. It's Rita's job to handle the non-payers and non-filers, as I kind of went over earlier. And then another thing I've got a question a lot about is if the state is taking over the local income tax. So I talked to Rita about that, and the issue of the state taking over local income tax has been brought up during every presidential election cycle, but never gained any traction. And Rita closely monitors any legislative changes and will issue a notice if anything were to occur. As of right now, there are no significant efforts to have the state take over local income tax. And in 2024, income tax revenue was $273,231.
You know what that compares to previous year?
2023 was $311,925. And I think that year before is when we did those letters, the subpoena letters and stuff. Because I'm looking at the trend.
Significant reduction.
Yeah. 2022 was 256,416. 2021 was 261. So it looks like it lingers around 250 to 260, with 2023 being up for some reason.
Is that because we sent the letters?
I think it's because we sent the letters. So in 2025, we should probably see a hike because of the letters.
$70,000.
Yeah. And that's all I got.
Anybody got anything else for Stephanie?
What happened to Main Street? They were gonna work on it out here.
That's the ODNR, right?
What do you mean?
They was gonna tear that road out, take the brick up and put a new road down through there.
Oh, we're still working on that. That's part of the OPWC grant,
Okay,
but we're not doing the total rebuild. That was like over $1 million.
But she's talking about on the other side of, she's talking about where she is. We are not doing that at all.
It's
Correct.
just a resurfacing.
Just a
Yeah,
resurface.
yeah, like Rick said it.
Not on her side.
Not on her side. We're only doing it here.
Here,
This side.
Right, but I think she's asking specifically about.
I thought it was the
Her side of the
road
track.
because they said with the drainage and everything.
And I wanted to make it clear that it is not on your side of the tracks where you're at.
Friday, it was too much money.
much money
It was
because
like,
Well, I didn't know. I was just asking because I know we had discussed it in different meetings.
Sure.
But,
I know,
and there was nothing there, so
Public Works is working on, along with Harold, is trying to get the storm drain area on the corner of the intersection there taken care of soon. So
are you gonna fix any other drains?
We're talking
we're
about it.
there. It's in the process.
I mean, the meetings we've had with all this rain last year and
Mhm.
people coming in here and they're,
We've addressed about every issue that someone's had as far as research. Now we have to do a better analysis to get better funding for that, for projects of that nature.
I know we don't have millions just laying around.
No, we don't.
I'm just curious about,
But there is potential stormwater action being taken place in current meetings, so.
Grants.
Okay, administrators report, Harold.
I have been in contact with Sean about getting that catch basin replaced, along with fixing the pipe going out to the metal one. So I'm waiting on him to send that back to me. And I've been in contact with the insurance adjuster. He was just down today. Go down there, so he said he will get us a quote on what they figure it's gonna cost to fix it, and then we're gonna go from there.
Okay.
So they're gonna suggest what we do after that.
And they're gonna take back to Public Works.
Yeah. Yep.
Anything else?
As far as the repair on the up near Shirley's, and you say replacing the pipe that goes to the middle,
Yeah.
which means they're gonna have to do a pavement cut and whatever all the way through.
Yeah.
I would like to suggest that they use concrete to replace that cut in the current time, rather than just asphalt.
Okay.
Because I think you'll be back in the same shape again as far as settling or whatever if you don't. This makes sense, I think, to do it right the first time.
save money.
Have you seen the pothole over on Taylor?
Yes.
Okay. My car did too.
Did you?
I almost did.
It's a little too close to the curb then.
I got a wide girl, all right.
That's like right next to the curb, so.
I got the luxury model.
I think she's trying to.
Anything else for Harold? All right, we're gonna go into zoning. Ken's not here.
I do have a question though on Ken's report. He has a different address in the letter that was sent out.
And which
For
one?
Oak Street, for the variance on Oak Street.
Oh, it might be a typo.
Okay,
Yeah, I have the right one on the,
2310. Okay.
yep,
I've got 2 letters.
yep. So one had the wrong, year, date on it, month. So I fixed it, sent a new one out, and then you should have or should be receiving another one for a different variance.
3 altogether.
Yep, okay. Yeah, same day, different times. So we have 2 different variances on the same date.
All right, his zoning report reads is 2 permits have been issued since the previous report. January 22nd, he received a phone call from the property owner of Silver Street, east of Lawndale Mobile Home Park. He will be working on a submittal for a lot split. January 24th, he received a phone call from Crescent Chemical regarding using the house that they own on Oak Street, which is the one they were just talking about, as an office. January 27th, he returned a phone call from Crescent and informed them that they would need to seek a variance in order to use the existing house as their new office. February 3rd, he forwarded the photographs of an issue on Sycamore to Paul. He sent Stephanie a list of issues on one, which is the mobile home on Sycamore. Does council want to declare a structure a nuisance? This is from Ken. So let's talk about that structure on Sycamore.
I know Ken has been communicating with the health department about that one. It's got like a door hanging off, and I think the skirting around it is holy, I guess.
Who currently owns that?
CM Precision.
Oh, MCM.
Yeah.
Jackson.
I did tell it, we haven't actually sent them letters because the door and the skirting and stuff doesn't fall into any of our code.
Mhm.
So I told him if we were to declare it a nuisance, what would we cite?
Correct.
So that's why he's been in contact with the health department. So
Okay. So we're just I think we should just wait on
seeing
more
what
feedback on that, because then we have to actually start the process of violation.
Letters.
And we
Yeah.
don't really have
Well,
anything.
we can also ask Paul too, maybe there is an Ohio code that we could cite, because I did tell Ken, maybe we could put something together that kind of points those issues out, but we have nothing to cite, but at least there's some kind of notice out there. But if they don't do anything, then, I mean, there's not much we can do because there's,
Yeah, that whole area is, believe it or not, I mean, we don't even have mobile homes allowed in our village other than a mobile home park due to current ordinances. And we actually, that road actually has two of them on there.
I
So.
think that was they were there previous.
Sure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're grandfathered in, but they have to fall under.
Has anybody talked to MCM about the situation?
I have no idea.
That's a Ken question.
Yeah.
It might be worthwhile to have a discussion with them rather than.
I remember driving by it not too long ago and the door was secured. I didn't walk up there, but from the road, it wasn't, blaring open. It does have missing siding, so skirting, but.
Have there been any complaints from neighbors or anything?
Nope.
Okay. I guess we got committee reports from Public Works on 128.
In attendance were myself, Harold, Erica, Jessica, Rob, and Brittany. Harold kind of covered the pull behind leaf blower that in his report. We went over priorities for 2025, stormwater analysis, stormwater and the stormwater drainage project from Beach Street to the ditch. Brittany has, although she's not on the committee, she has volunteered to represent Weston with TMACOG. She's also had conversations with Representative Gambari regarding this, and she's hoping to set up a meeting with him about funding this project.
I thought you were on the committee,
I'm on the Water Quality Council.
water quality one.
Yeah, I was on the committee last year for Public Works, and that's when I originally reached out to Haraz. And just taking him quite a while to get back. There was a lot going on.
OPWC we covered. As far as road paving this year, we were gonna ask Harold to get a quote from Washington Street. Minimum from Brown Lane to Brook Lane, but he'll get a quote. He'll get a quote for that and for that portion and the whole road. And also get an idea of exactly how in-depth that project is gonna be. We discussed the search grant, still working on hiring an intern. I think we were gonna send that to administrative process to kind of discuss more on that. The sidewalk program, Stephanie covered, HAP grant, she also covered. And the Public Works Committee our goal is to work on projects over the course of the next 5 years, or to come up with projects over the next 5 years. Harold's working on a quote to repair the catch basin on Main Street. And as far as the bus garage goes, the adjuster wants to take a look again. You cover that?
Yeah, he was out to,
And we also discussed the ferry project and steps needed to complete this project. Community development will work on this. I can't, her name escapes me, she was in here. GL Cap, Stu Clanton, introduced us to GL Cap. I did correspond with them. And that was on community development to fund the stormwater project, but I would like to move that to Public Works. I don't know if we need a motion for that.
For the Sycamore project.
Yeah,
I think it should go to Public Works.
Yeah. I
I
don't know
mean,
why it
we
was.
can't make a decision, I don't think like that, but I mean, I would like to say everybody needs to do the research on that. And I think Public Works is the greatest
Well,
avenue.
I don't know why it was put on community development to begin with.
I don't know.
And also we are asking administrative process to determine money available for hiring an intern, which is.
I want to touch base on a couple of things just because I come off that council. We need to keep in mind about the streetlights too.
I put it in my notes for the
Okay.
next one.
And as far as Harold, when you do that Brook Lane thing, we have to make sure whatever we put in there is gonna be up to par because I'm pretty certain it was never up to par when
I know it wasn't.
Brown did it. So just take that in consideration. Especially if we have to do any, because that road right there actually has storm water in the center. We want to make sure that whatever happens, that it's actually good. Whether it's a, Camtech coming out and scoping it, whatever.
Well, somebody may have to core that pavement because I'll be quite honest with you, I'm pretty sure it's like a residential driveway thickness.
Sure.
Was when it was done.
Yeah.
well, the hole we filled in, there was asphalt underneath that hole. And we filled in last week, we filled a hole in back there and it was probably about 4 foot long. And it was probably about that deep, but underneath it, it was asphalt. So I don't know how thick the asphalt is out there, but it's at least 6 to 8 inches thick.
You're all gonna find out.
Right. So,
Yeah, I'd highly suggest it. I was around when that was done.
Yeah.
And not by us.
Yeah, made a lot of shortcuts out there.
Okay.
Before you move on,
Yeah.
I went back to that email from Christy about that rural business development grant that's due on the 28th. She had some questions that needed answered. Does someone want to head up communication with her about that? That's familiar with what you wanted specific to that project. That way we can get those questions answered. Or what is everybody's thoughts, especially with that deadline? It'll creep up fast and we don't have any quotes. We don't have any specific, besides just the project itself. What's it called?
And,
The paving of the stone parking lot marking and the natural sound barrier.
I mean, just so we're clear,
February 28th is the deadline.
that's behind downtown business.
Yep.
Parking lot.
And not the building that was just knocked down and stoned.
No, it's behind the library.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No, she said we have to demonstrate, that it will improve the economic stability of the community. And then she had 2 bullets, have existing businesses said the lot needs to be enhanced to improve their business, and will existing business be able to expand or have increased revenue directly related to the project, or will new business be created?
So if the businesses had rear access,
Yeah.
that would be what I would believe would be helping the businesses out. Because currently, I don't only know a couple of places that use the rear, but it's not for public.
In reality, they didn't reach out for that request, did they?
I've never,
No,
we tried,
We just tried to
think of a project. Yeah.
Well,
something that could be,
part of the reason we went that route is because a couple of the other projects we're proposing would take away parking on Main Street for businesses. So they're gonna be losing business parking.
Already the little parking that they have.
Right. So we were creating more business parking back behind.
Does that fall into any of that list of
I would think if they had rear access, that would,
that?
The library does.
library,
Rear access.
is it opened?
Yeah, for events in the community room.
Like you said, the only thing we can do is reach out to the,
Horns and Halos is one of them that would be getting a parklet. There's booking spots. They do have rear access. It's over the tracks, but they have it. Porky's is the other. They don't have rear access, but they are pretty close to that U.
It used to be for their delivery drivers.
Huh?
It used to be for the delivery drivers too, so
Oh.
it might encourage them to.
To use it as
Delivery
they,
again.
well, or they could make rear access for it.
Wasn't the parklets one of the ideas for this grant?
But I thought we had to do
I thought it was
the,
two.
we had to do,
We were
Parking first.
expanding the parking so that we
We
could
could
put
go-
the parking,
go back.
right, so we could
We
put the
wanted to have-
parklets in
we wanted to
without
have a
them
solution
losing.
For the problem.
Because the outdoor seating for the restaurants will increase their business, but we are taking their parking. So like Craig said,
We
providing the solution before the problem arose.
we could phrase it as, it's phase one of
Mhm.
downtown overhaul.
What you're really looking for is a point person, right, to kind of work.
Yeah, if this is something, I mean, with that deadline, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of discussion yet that she needs from it. And then for her to try and put something together before the end of the month, I don't know if that's.
I just know
fair to
when we were
her.
trying to use that in Public Works, to use that parking lot for permit-based parking, but no funding, just sticker only. It was a fiasco about it because we didn't have towing regulations. We didn't have, a lot of stuff through our legal and
See, the other problem you have, or the other issue, not problem, but the other issue is the fact that the business owners own a certain portion of that property behind their buildings.
Mhm.
So that's not going to be paved.
Might need a true survey too, to know exactly where
Exactly.
our marks are.
Another thought on it for increasing business, and I'd probably, which committee is that in? Is that in?
Community
community
development.
development.
I think
When do
that's
they
where it
meet?
started.
Well, they have to reschedule theirs because that's the same day as the next council meeting.
Yeah, I'll just bring it up to them at that time.
Oh, wait.
But I think it would enhance the grant, but if we're on short term, I guess if that.
I thought this was a revolving one or a rolling one and not a deadline. I didn't realize there was a deadline. That was kind of a shock when I saw the email that there was a deadline.
One of the things that, the business council was taking a look at was the feasibility of establishing a DORA area for downtown. I did the research on it and we fit very, very well. We do have two establishments that it could be utilized for. And you can designate, believe it or not, for us, up to 360 acres or 340 something acres. Now, there wouldn't be that, but
Probably feet, but
but it allows you to do it on both sides of the track. It would allow you to do it into the green space over here, just as preliminary, I'm saying. So, and it's not that hard to get.
Nice.
It is not that hard to get. So I was shocked at how little you have to really do.
I think that should go back to community development.
Do you want to,
If it goes back to community development, do they have 2 weeks to get it taken care of?
I know, that's why I'm like,
I mean,
I just
I would hate
brought that up.
No, I'm talking about just for the parking
In
thing.
the next few days? Or can we not do it like that?
you can, if you give at least a 24-hour notice.
You could do it on Thursday night, like, or something.
And then that particular
We
meeting
could-
has to be rescheduled.
I was gonna say, we can set a point person and talk to Christy before our community develop meeting. Meet on our date and talk about what Christy decided. The question is, Harold, can you get quotes?
for,
Stoning and paving and trees behind the library.
The railroad property, along the fence, and then
If we can get
Find
quotes,
out.
yeah, if we can get, that's the
We
real.
probably have to also put a quote for a survey in there too. I'm sure that that grant covers something like that.
You'd have to.
yeah, because now you're dealing with the
It's
railroad.
so irregular back there.
1, 2,
Yeah.
we have 3 weeks. So
Oh,
Did we,
How far back are
Yeah.
you going? Cause I thought part of it was stoned.
Yeah,
Yeah. far
the
back in that lot,
semi-paving was
that's still
stone,
what
right?
You wanna do.
the semi was stone.
and then the car area
you wanna
was,
go to the.
So you're referring to the telephone pole to the alleyway, which would be going back to the east from the telephone pole. That gives everything where the current semis park right there. We're only talking probably 120 feet wide,
Mhm.
probably from that pole to the actual,
Buildings and
well,
then,
not so much the buildings, but the right of way to the,
So maybe the point person has to meet with Harold too
and then
to,
we would want a physical barrier like those little
Trees.
barriers, or you want like.
Trees.
Planted.
I think it was arborvitae, wasn't it? Didn't you specify arborvitae?
yeah.
I don't,
It was natural, it didn't matter what kind of tree.
Oh,
but a
okay.
Tree barrier along where, to provide a sound barrier to the tracks.
Okay.
And then we hadn't decided fully what to put between the semi. It was just gonna be stone for the semi right now and cement for parking and markings. For marking up.
Like those concrete barriers that they put up when you do cause that would probably be ideal.
like a Jersey wall.
Yeah, the wall that they put up when they're working on the
The road
highways,
work.
we could put like a concrete barrier wall.
And those are temporary too, so we could always plant later if we wanted to beautify.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, that would work.
So you just need a point person then.
I'll do
I was like, sounds like Jessica.
it.
Yes, it is.
I don't know what the right of way on the railroad is, so you're gonna have to.
That's what I was wondering too, because I know CSX is really.
4 foot?
They said all they.
That sounds
require is 4 foot.
But is that,
We could go up to 4 foot as long as we stayed 4 foot off the track or off of the railroad ties, they were okay. They didn't
Just
care.
mind you though, your trees grow.
Right, yeah, so you want to be safer than,
But yeah, if you're planting trees, if you're gonna put buffer trees up, you definitely want to take them farther than that away. But cause when we were putting the railroad ties up over here, we asked them how far we could go, and the guy said we could go up to 4 foot. They require 4 foot of space to do what they need to do, and that's it.
Would a survey tell us something about that now? No, because they own it all.
Of the railroad?
they don't at all.
no, we own it.
We own the stone lots.
It would tell us some sort of.
They would,
Well, the survey's necessary because you got the
Business
businesses.
owners.
Yeah, and you gotta determine what they're.
There may be something with the railroad running through there, or there's just the surveyor's knowledge of railroad right away.
Is that an alley behind there?
Mhm.
No, I don't think so.
Just the alley that runs.
there's one on the side.
That goes back to
Yeah.
that parking lot. but
Yeah, on the
it's-
side.
And we had talked about maybe when we paving this side if we owned it, but so that people could come from the road straight and it would be all nice paved. So, but the survey will tell us and the amounts, the quotes will tell us too.
Okay. So you're gonna head up.
How much is that grant for?
They want that with black.
It doesn't say, so I think there's a big amount of money available.
Big amount to pay that.
Concrete barrier.
Expensive base.
I'll just give Christy your phone number and have her reach out to you.
Okay.
Okay, upcoming meetings, cemetery 2/6 at 6, administrative process 2/10 at 6, park and rec 2/12 at 6:30.
Do you want to go over how you're
Yeah.
going to do that?
I'll do that in a minute. WSIB 2:25 at 5:30 at the library. The community development public affairs needs to be rescheduled due to the council conflict. So we'll get that in a minute. And the next council meeting will be 2/18 due to President's Day. The Planning Commission has a variance hearing 2/19 at 6 and at 6:30.
Nobody else showed up the last time but me. I meant on the committee.
Okay. So, all right, so now let's get back to,
Weren't you on that committee?
I was,
Erica is now,
But-
yeah, and
but
then
I've still gotta
you
be there
still are.
yeah. The, community development and public affairs, what do you guys want to reschedule for that?
Is next week too soon for y'all?
I don't have much of a
What?
issue with scheduling generally, so throw out something and,
Well, it's gotta be 24 hours from today. 24 hours from today.
I'm feeling the
Are you
only,
talking about the 11th?
yeah, because the only day really
Why do
I
we
got
have to
available that
reschedule?
same week is the.
Because their next
23rd.
council meeting is the 18th.
That's
And
when your
the-
community
that's when the
development meeting would be.
development Meeting is supposed to.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the 11th.
No, we have to reschedule for whenever.
I,
You guys,
So
You can't do it this
we're
week.
rescheduling Marches.
can't be tomorrow.
No, I'm
February.
saying, like I said, possibly Thursday.
February 17th is President's Day.
Are you on
Next
the,
council meeting on,
We'll be on February.
I have our community development meeting on the 11th of February via our emails.
via the calendar, it's the 18th.
Yeah, it's the
Okay,
third Tuesday.
so
of the
when we
month.
were emailing, I thought we agreed on the 11th.
Well, you just gotta tell us. So I mean, if
Oh,
it
I was
works,
gonna
if the
say-
11th works out, it works out.
I must have not been in the reply alls or anything.
That's what I thought too, and I was
I
like.
put it on my
maybe I was
calendar
thinking
as
something
the 11th.
different.
Okay,
Okay,
so you guys still want to do it February 11th?
Yes, so we got community development on the 11th.
Change through the.
okay, yeah, I was gonna say I probably would have,
Okay.
And then,
same time, 6.
the Weston Sports Initiative Board at the library, I'm now the liaison for that. That's also a public works meeting and I'm on that. So we need to reschedule one of them.
I had brought that up to WSIB at the last meeting because I was still liaison and I was like, hey, like there's 3 options. They chose to leave it the same day.
Can they just come and do the report? Just tell us what they got going on?
Or they could send someone could write something up and.
They're really in the
They're like,
midst of everything.
they're on the cusp of like not having a requirement of needing a liaison anymore.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, as long as they send us a report, because
They've been doing it where they do the WSIB village meeting and then the non-village meeting.
Right.
And their village meeting lasts 10 minutes.
Right.
So if it starts at 5:30, there is potential that you could still do both the same day if we start at 6.
all we really need is to see if there's anything we need to do as council or,
Providing funds or whatever.
that they need. It still might be too
Which
early.
I think they're at if they got their EIN, then we need our ordinance. Where are we on the ordinance?
We can't do any of that until the fund's gone. And they are official, so that fund has to be spent. They are still technically attached to the village until the fund is empty.
So
We can't pass legislation until then.
But they're
They can-
able to.
They can operate.
Yeah, as long as they have their EIN, they'll have, I would say, have them, provide proof that they are in good standing with the state, have their EIN. That way, we know, so when that time comes and the fund is empty, they can.
What if we push public works back?
I was
to
gonna say,
6:30?
can we at least make it later, since this is my first meeting with them?
what are we talking about? Making what,
Works.
you want to make it later in the night?
Make it later in the day or do a different day, like the next day or something.
Okay,
Do 6:30 or?
I'm okay doing it on the 26th.
I think she's caught up on Wednesdays.
Also not on the public works.
Yeah, I'm not on the committee.
I can,
We like to have,
I absolutely have no problem with 26.
We actually-
okay, let's go the 26th. I can work that one.
which one's that for?
Public
Works.
And not the 12th.
Public Works was on the 20th.
Oh, sorry.
Being moved.
That's right. That's right.
Parks and Rec is.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where my input was.
Oh, I thought we were worried about where the Brittany, you don't even have to be there. All right.
All right.
Is that good night good for you? I'll change it again if you want.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Now, as far as is everybody okay with everything?
Yeah, I think so.
As far as the public, the Parks and Rec, they don't have a board quite yet. So we're still gonna do the meeting, but it's gonna be like a mayor's meeting. We're gonna bring people back in and see if they're still volunteers and go from there. I mean, because if we don't have volunteers, there's no sense of having meetings, so they can't really do nothing. So either we're going to appoint or we're not gonna have a meeting, so it's up to them. Well, I can't remember who's the Tracy, what's that girl's name?
Christine.
Christine's the only one on the board. And just her is not the board, so we have to figure out what's going on. So we're going
We
to,
had a lot of volunteers. Are they still interested?
they were, I don't know if they are, but we're gonna put it out there. It's gonna be like a mayor's meeting and because you can't have a meeting, so we're just gonna
Right, I understand.
come in there and see if there's still people that's wanting to volunteer and then move forward. Either I can swear them in then if there's that many people, or we can move on to the next month. We'll just keep on reporting that until something arises.
I'm that for the 12th, that's for the
That's
12th.
for the 12th at 6:30. So. All right. Is that it as far as the meeting was? All right. Now, new business. We have ordinance. Unknown ordinance right now. I believe it's for the M5 anti-tank gun agreement for the Weston Cemetery. Everybody kind of remember what that was discussed at the last meeting?
Just concerns the deed, right?
Yep, I know the last meeting, there was a question about the cost of the recertification. It was clarified that the recertification applies to the forms that are part of the deed and not the equipment itself. Paul reviewed them and is gonna have me fill them out, and then it just requires the mayor's signature when the ordinance is passed, because the ordinance is for executing those forms.
Yeah, the ordinance is authorizing the executive of certain agreements for the United States Army's airments for cemetery display. Basically, this is the United States Army Tank Automotive and Armaments Command of Detroit, Michigan has offered to donate the certain M5 anti-tank gun previously deeded to the American Legion 409. And now they're going to, that's currently presiding in the Weston Cemetery. So this is going to transfer the deed to the village of Weston, I believe. So is that going to be the first reading?
Yep.
Any other discussions on that one?
I got a question that's relevant to that.
Yeah.
Is it possible that that gun can have some kind of a placard that informs the person what it is, when it was used, why it's now part of the cemetery?
I think we can look in that. I mean, with I think the new renovation of the Historical Society and then, other cemetery, I'm sure we can probably get something done.
Steph, could you reach out to the Army Tank Automotive and Armament Command of Detroit, asking if they have any background information on that specific gun?
Yeah, or I was gonna say, since it's part of the cemetery, maybe they know more on it. I would say they have those questions.
It was all with the Unit 409.
Yeah.
We could probably reach out to Grand Rapids or Togany Legion. They probably have people that have, they probably have people that switch from one to the other.
Yeah.
I don't know who's all on Togany, but Bob Clark is contact person that I normally use for Grand Rapids, so. And the other resolution accepting a UAN equipment donation. This would be the first reading. This is what Stephanie had talked about as far as us getting let's see.
The laptop and a printer.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the UAN printer identified as HP Laser Pro M, bunch of yellow letters, and a laptop. So this will be the first reading on that. Okay. This is ordinance 2025 to amend appropriations for the Wood County.
Yep.
Park District grant. Okay. And this is what she also had relayed back on the report. This is for the $11,340 for the mulch. And this is declaring an emergency, so we need to have somebody suspend the rules.
So moved.
You got a
Second.
motion to suspend the rules. Second. Let's roll
And a
call.
roll call, yep.
Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Mr. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerholtz,
Yes.
Ms. Susser,
Yes.
Ms. Kukowski.
Yes.
Okay, now
And then passage.
we just need a passage of the ordinance 2025-2 for the buying and dispersing of the funds for the mulch.
So moved.
Second.
We have first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. We gotta find this other one here.
It might have the same number, but it's a resolution.
This one is going to be resolution 2025-2 for the ODNR agreement. This is resolution approving and authorizing the mayor and fiscal officer to execute Nature Works local assistance grant agreement and declare it an emergency. Need a motion on the floor to suspend the rules.
So moved.
Second.
We have first and a second. Roll call. Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Ms. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerholz,
Yes.
Ms. Susser,
Yes.
Ms. Kukowski.
Yes.
Now we need a motion to approve such resolution 2025-2 ODR agreement.
So moved.
We got a first by Mr. Meyerholz, second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Council reviewed the bills. It's been passed around. Everybody got the chance to see those? Any corrections or discussion on those? That is no discussion. We just need a motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
We got a motion. A second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Now, let's go back to the miscellaneous business. You want, what she had with, what did it bring up on there?
So we, everybody should have received an email from Jeremy. I'm just gonna read it. Dear council, thank you for your attention to this matter, especially considering my recent change in status as a resident. I am petitioning you to take steps toward recognizing Weston for its commitment to urban forestry through the Tree City USA designation. This program recognizes communities that meet 4 core standards: a tree board or department, a tree care ordinance, a community forestry program with an annual budget of at least $2 per capita, and an Arbor Day observance and proclamation. Achieving this designation could enhance our community image, encourage civic engagement, and provide environmental and economic benefits through a healthy tree canopy. The Village of Weston already meets 3 of the 4 requirements, provided the mayor can issue an annual Arbor Day proclamation. With a population of 490, our current appropriations meet the $3,980 annual funding threshold, and our existing tree upkeep ordinance provides a solid foundation. To fulfill all 4 requirements, I propose implementing a village tree board. The attached ordinance outlines a potential structure for this board, which would collaborate with the village administrator on tree planting and removal decisions. This approach would enhance transparency and community involvement in our tree care strategy. I respectfully request that you add this item to an upcoming Community Development Committee agenda.
On Jeremy's, one of our last meetings, we had talked about this and he brought this up and I'm not opposed on this. Why? Because I don't know what all the details as far as the proclamation and everything, but it's good practice. If you take a tree down, you plant a tree, it's, so getting more community involvement may not be a bad thing. Because at the end of the day, we still have to worry about taking care of the trees that are on our property. And if we can still beautify it by planting trees, I didn't think it was a bad idea. So he was supposed to get it to us a little quicker than that. Yes, Randy?
From what you were reading there, he used the number of 490.
Yeah, it's not correct.
Yeah.
It's 1455.
That needs to be looked at because
So if we were,
ratio of $2 per
yeah,
person, so you need to refigure that to see whether or not we still.
It's 39.
yeah, it wouldn't be any, it
I
wouldn't
think
be
it was
that
just
much.
misquoted.
Yeah, he's got a higher population. It was probably maybe from a online search that, you know, sometimes it fluctuates, but our actual certified population is on that proclamation up on the wall behind Howard. So I think it's 1455. So
Our current budget is $10,000 for trees.
So I think we're gonna make that in one of the agenda items for which would be the appropriate one. I mean, because that's one of those things,
Yeah, land.
Public Works
Mhm.
because of that, but also community development. And I mean, so I just need to figure out who wants to take that on, I guess, because I don't want to step on anybody's toes and
I, on community development, would love to have it because I'm the one who brought it up to Jeremy that we meet most of the requirements already. I put it in his ear last summer and I was like, hey, like, we need to get on this because it would help us have more funding, more people involved. We should definitely be looking at it.
all I can say, I totally agree with that, but before any trees get planted or taken down, they need to go back to Public Works. So you guys got to work together. Is that fair?
Mhm.
So we'll just assign that to community development.
As I've stated before, I'd like to see more trees in residential areas rather than just,
Sure.
because we've taken a lot of residential trees down and
Well, like I
And some needs to be taken down.
I don't know about
That's on-
somebody else's opinion, but it's kind of nice to see the foliage with the trees on the edge of the road, except when they split in the middle because of a power line.
yeah,
It's kind of like, so just keep it in mind.
I think there has to be a lot of discussion as to the size of tree and growth and things like that.
Which it'd be great to have that tree board, because once that board is established, then they could discuss all of that. And it's nice that it has residents of the village on the board, because then it's not,
Mhm.
well, the city came in and put a tree in my property. The board could actually go out and talk to their neighbors and discuss.
we do have a contact with the urban forestry. I usually get newsletters from them and they work real close with municipalities on helping them set this commission up and providing all the documents and education you need for.
I did submit an online questionnaire and I did get a point of contact back by somebody from the regional urban forester, Alistair Reynolds. As soon as the tree commission is established, he would work with the village to like make sure that like the Arbor Day celebration is like something cemented, stuff like that. Like there's tons of help. I got 3 people neatly emailing me about it as soon as I submitted the like spreading news quiz. So
Well, we can, like I said, we can discuss all that in the upcoming meetings. Do we have anything else that's part of that miscellaneous? somebody had that?
Brittany had,
the Weston app.
Yes. What would your,
So when I was at Pemakog, another village, they're like exponentially growing in size and they wanted to be more available to their residents and more open and stuff like that. So they developed an app for your phone. And it's basically their website in app form, but it makes push notifications go across. So it's kind of like Reach Alert, but you can attach pictures. You can do it for more than just emergencies, stuff like that. I downloaded their app myself because it's free and it looks super easy to navigate. It was super easy to understand. I was really impressed by it. The service that they used to create the app and put it on, the basic for it was only $2,600 a year. The Cadillac version they had was $8,600, but they're growing quite a bit and have quite a few factories in town, quite a few road closures, quite a few.
well, if you can get the information, then take it to administrative process.
That's what I was going to ask to put that committee.
Yeah, take it, put it to that committee and That seems like the appropriate committee.
That's what I was.
The other things is the reach alert is not really that successful at this point in time. I mean, I don't know
Yeah,
how
with,
many people we have. We only have what?
Like 200
200
and
and some people.
with this app, they had a third of their population download it, and it's White House, so it's not a small amount of people downloaded it. And they have like links to their forms for permits, stuff like that, and just like a calendar there, just everything at.
It's becoming really
Yeah.
common. Even my
Yeah.
church has an app and it is really nice just for information and
Especially since
easy, user friendly.
we're digital now, so it's makes it like.
Well, we'll take it to that committee and talk about.
How much does the reach alert cost us?
oh gosh, what was the last I checked? It was 910, 910.
Be like that's.
I'm sure it goes up every year because of sneaky fees.
All right, well, let's take it to committee and get some more information on it. We'll start with Shirley.
Well, I've said everything on my mind.
All right, Randy.
I'd just like to take the opportunity to say that, I've been down, purchasing water from the water dispensing. And I, talked with Harold about having a bench built so that there was a place to be able to put my water bottles while I was waiting to fill them. And, then the next time I showed up, there was one there. So thank you. Kudos. I appreciate you getting it done. And it's very handy.
All right, Gary.
I heard through the grapevines that somebody made comment about us being out at the reservoir on the ice.
Well,
The fire chief,
yes, that was,
that may be,
yeah.
that ice was checked. He checked that and drilled it before he stepped out there too far to make sure it was safe. Then he checked it on his app to make sure what we could get on.
Okay.
Who was on?
So I'm gonna, okay, so I'm gonna take my,
Who was on the ice?
I'm gonna take my mayor hat off because I was there after the fact. And I'm not opposed of the trees going in the reservoir. I had an issue with holes being cut in the ice to put a tree standing straight up. Because to me, that promotes people to say, hey, they got to put a tree out there. And that's not what we want. I mean, putting the trees out there, I'm perfectly fine with in the spring. But to promote
Going out on.
going out on the ice, Stephanie showed me a picture of it because I did question her about it. Yes, the ice was 8 inches thick,
11.
whatever. I'm not gonna, whatever. But all I'm gonna say is, to me, that is not the most appropriate way to handle it because of that promotes people going on the ice, which we do not want at all. Our people included.
Should we post some signs around it? Says no going on the ice?
If nobody would ever put no ice, nothing on there, they probably would. We can't stop the people from going out there because we don't know it, but we're not trying to promote it. Yes.
Don't we have signs that say no swimming,
Yes.
which would mean no ice either? The whole reason there's no swimming, we approved the reservoir as is, but we had issue and fear with people drowning. Nobody wants to pull out anyone of any age, especially a child.
There's a difference between swimming and going out there and ice skating.
I understand that, but as far as the fire department goes, we also have ice rescue stuff thanks to our taxpayers, which I really agree,
You
but
don't want to use.
I don't want to use it on something that nobody's supposed to be out there. So,
We could probably post some signs up there on top of the other ones and let them know they can't go on the ice.
all I'm saying is that it probably wasn't really thought of when we planted the trees in the ice, standing straight up. So
That was because I threw them out there and they all blew to the.
I'm not saying,
Because of the wind, so I drilled holes in the.
I'm not saying there was,
And up north, that's what they do to protect when people are out on the ice up north. When people are out there ice fishing, they put trees in the holes so that way people know that there's ice hazard there. And if you don't,
we're not supposed to be on the ice.
no, they're
So that's all,
not supposed to be out there.
that's all I was trying to
I
say.
did not go out there without knowing that ice was thick.
I never said you didn't. I never said you didn't. I'm saying that
Just promote.
it's, to me, like today, it's 50 degrees out. There's trees still sitting up there. but the ice may not be safe, right? And that just adds to,
That's why I say we should put some signs around there so that everybody knows that.
well, okay, we'll discuss that later, I guess.
Also, I mean, we have had other discussions about safety, some that you have brought up, some that have brought up. Your safety is important to us. That's the real key here. Like, I know you're making sure, but your safety is important to us. We don't want to risk you. We don't want to risk you. We don't want to risk anyone.
We don't want to lose.
Well, like I say, like you knew, we went out in there.
I'm gonna make it perfectly clear that the ice was perfectly safe, but it's the promotion of,
What it just says to the public, like I think.
that's all. That's all.
Makes sense.
Because as a fire department, we've been wanting to try to do training on the ice as well. We have gear, we use it.
Nice up there, right?
You know, we could have easily cut the hole in the whole thing and
I know.
and put him in there. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to know exactly what everybody's doing as far as the fire department goes, but that to me is kind of not very good. Okay. Moving on. Howard? Okay,
Rituals.
we're gonna do this virtual. Mr. Dallas?
Just a quick suggestion on the last conversation. It wouldn't take much to put probably some solar spotlights to light that up in case somebody thought they could go out there. And secondly, I think you have Wi-Fi at the fire hall. You could probably put a camera up that would work off of that if to choose. I mean, if that's an issue, but that's the only suggestion I have.
Right. The unfortunate thing is that we have nobody that monitors it anyway. So, I mean, 911 is who we moderate. So.
Okay. But just a suggestion. That's all.
Yep. That's no big deal.
Thanks.
Who's the one next to her?
Robert.
Robert? Robert, you got anything for council? Okay. Ashley? Mrs. Patel?
I agree with the no ice thing, but like you said, you can't monitor who's out there. But at the same time, I agree with Ron about spotlights somewhere so you guys as firefighters and EMS can see what's going on.
Yep. All right, anything else?
She muted.
Okay.
Jigger.
Jigger? Mr. Patel? Okay.
Adios.
All right, that's
your
it.
motion?
We're gonna motion to adjourn. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. All right.